Good afternoon, YouTube. Good morning, good evening, good night. Hello and goodbye. You've done it. You've done it. I am now in quadruple digits. I'm sure people will troll me and unsubscribe. Please do so. I am currently at 1,000, and in retaliation for this travesty, I bring you the worst fish farm you could ever design using salmon in a river. Because this is the kind of content you're going to get from now on. What are you looking at here? It's a fish farm. That's it. That's it. A bare bones one. You may be asking, how much will it make? It makes an okay amount. You know, this ain't bad. Or for actual numbers, about 2,000 bone meal an hour when you're done converting all of them. Why is it so low? Why do you keep subscribing? I don't know. What's going on here is incredibly simple. So, when we free ourselves of the shackle of other, shall we say, and I use this term only relative to others of their kind, intelligent fish, we get the salmon. Arguably the most aggravating and dumbest fish in the game. Because, well, you see, in a normal fish pathfinding, we would spawn in a fish. That fish would see deeper water and would swim to it. And then they just kind of do this. And they're happy. And they do this little slow thing. Now, he'll make his way there eventually. But salmon are kind of swim first. Don't worry about ever asking questions later. And what that means is that when you spawn a salmon in, it will sometimes do that. Of course it did that right now. Why wouldn't it? So when you spawn a salmon in, it will swim typically in a straight line until it gets within one block of a solid block that's not in water. And it will then proceed to turn 45-degree angle away and swim around. And it'll just bounce around this whole thing like a game of Pong. Like a bad game of Pong with salmon. Unless, of course, you interfere with that. If you go and put that little fish, or big fish, into a 3x3 trough, it's right here. It's swimming this way. It hits a 45-degree angle. It turns. It immediately sees another solid block 45 degrees away. So what does it do? For whatever reason, it just swims in a straight line. And because they're so dumb, like most of my content, as soon as they slide down in here, they don't even try to bother swimming out. Which means you got 50-50 odds if it's going to go away from the arrow killer or to it. And well, as soon as it hits that wall, it just decides, I'll turn around. And that's it. That's really it. Like, this will not work really in any other biome because, well, I mean, you're just gonna get worse rates. They don't move with the same gusto into the higher waters. They do some, but this really does slow them down a little bit. It's great for steering salmon. I mean, not so much for the other fish. See, they like this. They're confused. What's going on? Go, shoot. But a river is the only place in the game where the only fish that will spawn are salmon, and so we can tailor our farm to that. Now, one might have to ask the question, why would you want to build a fish farm? That's apparently a thing. It deserves what happens to it. Why would you want to build a fish farm in a river? That's not what this is about. I figured out how to do it. So say you had your base over here, and you didn't want to go very far, like to the ocean's way over there, and you just wanted to build a little fish farm running in the background, doing its thing. Well, this is how you would do it with a river. If you make this bigger, you could, but I mean, at the same time, your cap's 4 here. Like, this is never going to be a high-octane kind of farm. It's just, I've got my base in the plains. There's a river over here. Do I want to build a bone meal farm with moss? Or do I just want to build one with fish? Remember, in the river biome, the fish will only spawn between Y50 and 64. However, this entire premise doesn't even rely on deeper water pathfinding, so you could just put this at Y64, fill it up, and then just pretend like the rest of the water isn't even beneath you. They aren't going to notice. They're just going to swim in a straight line because they're dumb. So I've hit 1,000, and I said I would do a river fish farm. So I bring you the best bone meal farm in the worst biome for it, because that's what you get here. And I mean, honestly, I did find this. I did find this particular behavior of salmon to be kind of interesting. We're manipulating their pathfinding, but I didn't say we were doing it well. But it does work. Old Rusty out!